Welcome all, welcome to this lecture of object-oriented programming, and today we'll be continuing with Unit 2. Let me first show the disclaimer, then I'll start the session. Okay, so let's start with this today's session. So we have already seen various things. We started with simple Java programming, then we saw what different programming styles and errors and programs also. Then we saw how to read input or numbers specifically as input from keyboard. Then we saw what are identifiers and variables, right? How to use assignment expressions and how to declare named constants and use them, and what are different naming conventions. Then we saw various data types and operations and sizes, and also special characters, and we saw how to do casting between character and numeric types, and we saw some methods of character class. Then we studied string class also, where we saw various methods of string class, and we saw how to compare different strings and what would be the result if we use comparison, and how to extract substring, and how to find index of some particular character or a particular string from a particular uh, source string. Then how to do various operations and mathematical operations, how various numerical literals behave, and how floating point literals and double literals behave specifically. Then what are different notations of different literals, and how the operators behave, right? And its precedence is there. Then we saw various operators also, and then we saw uh, simple numeric type conversion, how to do conversion. Then we saw selection statements. In unit 2 we started with selection statements. We saw how to work with simple if statement, two-way if else statement, then nested if else and multi-way if else statement. That is how to make a if else ladder. And then we saw how to make use of switch statement, and how to use a conditional expression or simply the ternary statement. Okay, so let's focus on some of the, then we saw some programs also. So let's today focus on some of the specific things, like specifically switch case statement, right? Also, okay, we have also seen mathematical functions in this unit, right? And how math class is used, and then we also saw loops, right? So, and then we had come to break and continue, right? So let me just show you specifically the examples of switch case and some loops, so that the doubts become more clear and your understanding of the selection and looping statements become very much clear, right? Okay, so let us start with a switch case statement. uh, okay, so let me go to the practical part, and this is VS Code, and here I'll be doing the program. Let me make a new program saying switch case example01.java. Okay, so this is okay, this program has come into CTU practical programs. No, I don't want it over here. I will cut it from here and will paste it over here. I'll have to remove this keyword now, package. I have not kept it in any of this package. I just remove this. Okay. Now in this, what I will do is typically I'll specifically uh, write an example of switch case. Now see, what is switch case? Switch statement basically executes any one statement from multiple conditions. So if you have if you have specifically multiple conditions to evaluate, right? Then you use what? Then you obviously use switch case. Okay, so if you have, something like this, that if some condition, then else, if some condition, again after that you have else if some condition, okay, and again after that you have else if some condition. Okay, there are some statements in between, so don't forget that there are some statements in between also. Okay, so now what happens is this particularly creates a ladder, else if ladder. Okay, this particularly creates else if ladder. So in that case you should use switch case. Okay, if that is the scenario, this kind of scenario happens. Okay, one more thing, switch basically works with different data types, so you should know which data types it works with. So basically switch works with specifically byte, then short, int, okay, and long. So basically all numeric data types, but not the floating point data types, that is not float and double. Okay, and it also works with enum types, right? Enum types, and it also works with string, and also wrapper class types like the byte class, the short class, the int class, okay, and similarly the long class. Okay, so these are the different data types that it can work with. Obviously, we don't have to forget char. Okay, so these are some data types with which the switch can work. Okay, so this data types can be used as the expression in switch statement. Okay, and there can be n number of cases for that particular switch statement. Okay, and the value was to be similar to the type of the expression that you given in switch. Okay, and the value can be any of this data type. Okay, so let's begin with how to write a switch case statement. So basically switch is written like this, switch, and then there comes some expression. Okay, inside there is a body, inside switch there is a body, and inside switch what happens is basically we write cases. So we say case, and there will be some value 1, right, and then there will be some code over here, right, and then what you have to say, you have to say break. Okay, so then only the control can go to after executing this particular case, control can go outside switch. Otherwise, if you don't have break, control will go ahead in next case. So if we have case value 2 colon and some code and break. Okay, so although this break is optional, but it is very necessary to use. Okay, it's good to use. And then there is some default code, right? So what happens is this thing is actually equivalent to saying if some expression matches value 1, then you have some code, else if the expression matches value 2, then you have some code, else you have some code. So see what happens, this if part, this expression is this one, this value 1 is this one. Okay, this value 1 is this one, this value 2 is this one, and this else part, whatever is there inside this else part, okay, is this else is nothing but the default. So what happens is whatever code comes here is coming inside this value 1. Whatever code comes here is put over here inside this piece of value 2, and whatever code comes over here in else part comes over here in this default part. You see, so this is how the else if ladder is converted into a switch case. And you know what happens when basically this switch case executes, when it is compiled, that compiler converts it into a what compiler converts it into a switch case ladder. So if you write switch if else ladder or switch case, both are same, but what happens is switch case gives us lots of flexibility, right? And it is easy to maintain and understand also. Okay, so let us do some, you know, some programming. Like let's say we give the number, and according to that number we give return the month name. User gives a number, and according to that number we return the month name. That kind of programming we can do. Yes, let's do that. How we do that? We say first let's get a scanner class object, and scanner input is equal to new scanner and system.in. Okay, and since this is giving error, so we can import scanner. We have imported it. Now what we will do is, in this switch case, we'll first read something. So we'll say system.out.println. Inside this println we say enter the month number. Let's enter the month number, and we take it as an integer. Int n is equal to what? Import dot next what? Int. Okay, now integer is a very big data type. You can even take it for byte or short. Okay, I put n over here. So since I have put an integer over here, I'll have to put over here integer values only. In case I will have to put integer values only. So if it is case 1, what will happen? Case 2, then what will happen? This is switch. We'll switch. Okay. There was mistake in writing, so I've made it proper. Okay. So this switch and then case, right? And why it is giving error in default? Okay, since there are no programs, that's why. No statements, that's why. Okay. So let's make something. Let's make a string also. Month name. Let's say that the string month name is empty right now. Okay. So what will happen is this month name will be equal to what? January, when the month number is 1, right? Then we break. Similarly, the month name will be what? Month name will be February once the month number is 2, right? And similarly, we also do what? We similarly just copy this part and put it for how many times? 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, not only this part, we also need case part. So it is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost 10 times are there. You can see these are different cases. It is giving us error on case number 2 because it is coming multiple times, right? So what I'll do is I'll just align it properly, and here I'll make it as case 3, here as 4, here as 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9, and 10, 11. Okay, so we have to make one more month. No issue. Let's copy this part, and here we'll make it as 12. Okay, so and we also have to change the month name. January, February, then comes March and April, then comes May, then 6th is June, 7th is July, then comes August, September, October, November, December. Okay, and if that is not the case, then we say that month name is empty only, or we simply say month name is null. Okay, so what do? We prompt the user to enter some month number. User enters it, right? And we declare a string called month name. Now we use this switch case. Okay, what is the thing? So this is a string month name that is empty, and whatever input that the user has given, if that input is a number 1, then the month name becomes January, and then we break out of this case. Similarly, if it is case 1 does not match, it will go to case 2. If does not match, goes to case 3. If that does not match, goes to case 4, right? So this switch case statement is basically, fall through. It is also called as fall through statement. Why? Because if you don't give this break, right, if you don't give this break, then what would happen is that first if the case, if suppose if the number user has entered number as 1, n is equal to 1, so what would happen? The control will go over here, it enters this case, it makes month name equal to January, and since there is no break, let's suppose that there is no break, then it goes to case 2 also, and it assigns month name equal to February. That is what the thing happens, So that's why we have to give this break. Break is very, very important. Okay, after each case, break will be there. And if the user has entered some other number, not any number between 1 to 12, then we simply say default, in this default case, month name equal to null. Now since this switch case ends over here, so after that switch case, now we will write our if else statement. We'll say if month name is not equal to null, okay, then what do? Then we simply print something, system.out.println, and here we say month is concat with what? Month name. Month is month name. Okay, and if not, then what we will do? Then we will have to specifically say else the please enter proper month number, because the number is not proper. That's why the month name had been null. Otherwise, it would have been some string, right? So just we check if month name is not equal to null, then say month is the month name. You can even put over here simply null. Okay. So let's try to run this particular program and see what happens. Okay. Here it asks us enter the month number. So what do I say? I say number is current month number is what? 1. So it gives us month is January. You see that? Output is month is January. Okay. I again run the program. It asks me enter the month number. So I say let's say 7. It says month is July. You see? That's it. And now what happens if I again run it and say enter the month number as 13. I give the month number to be what? The month number to be 13. Check this out. I give the month number as 13. What happens if I enter after that? It says please enter proper month number. You see, the output is not what we expected. Okay. And suppose what happens if you don't give break over here? Check this out. If I don't give this break, if I comment this part out, so this switch case is a fall through kind of statement. So the control will come over here in case 1. If the n is 1, it will make month in January. Then the control will go to case 2 also, since there is no break, and it will make the month name as February. So now let us run this particular program and see what is the output. Check this out. Here when I say enter the month number to be 1, the output will be February. What is the output? Month is February. You see that? And we say enter the month number 1 is February. Why it has become February? It should be January, right? But in fact, what has happened is the control came over here. The control came over here in switch statement. It saw that it is n is 1. It matched it with case 1, so it went into this case 1. It made month name equal to January. January was assigned to month name. Then it also went to case 2 because there was no break statement, and then it made month name as February. If there would not have been this break statement, then it would also gone to case 3 and it would have made month name as March. You see, that's the problem. So when we don't give break, when we basically want to do what? We basically want to make the control fall through all the cases, and that is only condition when we have to match any one of those cases. So that kind of program we had made specifically in this. Check this out. Here we say enter a month number, and we take the number, and we want to, return the days according to the month number. So if it is 1, 3, 5, then again if it is 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, and then again 8, 7, 8. And it is 10 and 12. 10 and 12. So all these have numbers as days equal to 31. If it is 4, 6, which are the remaining ones? 4, then 6, then 9, and it will be 11. And it's date is 30. And here, if we say k is equal to 2, then we'll say days equal to what? 28. But yes, we don't have to forget to give a break statement. Remember, don't forget to give this break statement. Otherwise, what would have happened is if this break statement would have not have given, then even though our input would have been any one of this, the control will go over here and it would execute all this. Even though your input would not have been any one of this, then also. Okay, so break is very much necessary. Control enters over here, checks which case it belongs to. Suppose it's case number 12, it executes this, and from here after break it exits the switch case. See, that's what happens. This is how the control behaves if the break is there. Okay, otherwise what happens? Control executes this part, control executes this also. That's what happens. Okay, so for all these numbers it is 30 days. For all these numbers it is for all these numbers months it is 31 days. All these months it is 30 days, and then for this it is so it is which month? Okay, fine. So we have these many, and we run this, and then we say enter the month number as 10. So it says number of days is 31. Okay, understand? So this is how we make use of this fall through mechanism of switch statement. Okay, let me see if the people have any one of you have any doubt. Okay, so I hope there is no doubt in this particular program, right? So that was very much simple switch case where we saw how we can, give some number, give some month number and can retrieve the month name, or we can give the month number and accordingly we can retrieve the days. So see, if the month is any one of this, then the output is common, the days is 31. But here the output is not common. If it is case month is 1, then the name is January. It is not that every month's name is January. You see. But here, if it is month 1 or 3 or 5, then obviously the number of days is equal to 31. That is common. So that's why we made use of this fall through facility of switch case. Whereas here we don't need it. So what do? We simply put break on each and every statement. Understand? That's what we do. Okay. So now since we have put break and we run it again and we say that the month number is basically 1, then it will give the output as month is January. You see that? Okay. Similarly, we run this and we have, let's say, month number 8, it is 31. Okay. Okay, so that was switch case. Now, let me basically show you some. Okay, we can even see use switch case with strings also. Okay, so that's the best part. Let me show you that thing, also that example also. So let me make a switch case example 2. Okay, let me make it a switch case example 2.java. Okay, so here what we will be doing is in main we will be putting some string level equal to nothing right now. Okay, just empty, or simply say null. And let's take input from user in the same manner. Okay, in the same manner, we'll take input from user. Here we say get the scanner object. Then we say enter what? Enter your level. And suppose we take the level, we say uh, input dot next. Okay, input dot next. So now the user enters a level and we read that particular level, and according to that level of user we can do what? We can specifically bring some output. So we say level, and here we compare it with case. Suppose the level 1 is, let's say, uh, beginner. Suppose the case is beginner. Okay, then we will say that mm, sum.out.println, you need to go for training. Okay, fine. Then we break out of this. Then we have case, let's call it as intermediate, right? Then we can take this part, and here we will say you don't need to go for training. And again we take another case, we call it as expert, and you say you are invited to train our people. Okay, and suppose there is this default, nothing out of this, nothing, no matches from all of these, that what would we say? Then we will say that mm, you don't belong here. Don't, and then we don't need a break after that. Okay, we don't need a break after that. So this is switch level, case beginner, case intermediate, and case expert. Okay. Okay. So accordingly we will print something. Whatever the user enters, accordingly we will print something. Let me run this. So here we will ask for the level, enter your level. So I say level is beginner. We say you need to go for training. You see that? I again run this and I say expert. It says you are invited to train our people. Okay. So this is how, we can even use switch case with strings also. Okay. See this? Yes. And there can be a switch case inside switch case also. That also works. No issue in that. Okay. Okay. Fine. So, and if you talk about enum data type, then switch case can also work on enum. Okay. Let me make the example as, okay, I have to rename this part. This is, we make it as a switch case example 2. Okay. Similarly, here also we give the name as switch case example 1. Okay, and then we make an switch case example 3 dot java. In this, what we'll do is, in this we'll make use of enum. So here we say public enum day. Let's make use of day. So say enum data type is declared like this. You just give it a name, and then inside this brackets you give some values. So for example, you give the values as Monday, Mon, Q, Veg, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so these are what? These are the constants of enum data type called as day. Now what we'll do is, inside this we'll simply we say let's do one thing. This enum can also be declared outside. Okay, this enum can also be declared outside this main, and here we simply say let's make a array of day, saying day now, calling it as day now is equal to what? It is equal to basically day dot values. So this values will give a day array to this day now. Okay, and what happens is that we can now use, okay, for this with this example I'll also introduce to you a new for loop that is called as for each. Okay, so check this out, please check this properly. This for each works like this. We say for, and see this is, there is a for each also which iterates over an array. So see, this is how it iterates. It says for each day take a day object from this day now array. What is this day now? Day now is an array of all the values. So this particular array, this array is given when you say day dot values to this variable day now. Okay, and so that becomes an array of enum values. So now when you say for each day, this is read as like this. For each day variable of this day now array. So for with each iteration, this day value gets some this day variable gets some value. So there will be how many iterations for this for loop? How many values are there? 7 values are there. So there will be basically 7 iterations of this for loop, and with each iteration this day variable will get a new value. So in first iteration day's value will be mon, then in second iteration it will be tu, then third it will be ved, then third, and then fry, and then set, and then sun. Okay, accordingly that will be the iteration. Okay, now if we use the same thing with the switch case in the for loop, we use the switch. Okay, and here in the switch we give what? We give the value as specifically the day. Okay, in this switch we specifically give the day. Okay, so if the day is equal to case, we say case, and if it is equal to, we don't need any strings, we just have to say specifically case is mon. If case is mon, okay, if the case is mon, then you simply say system dot out dot println what? Monday. Okay, and then we break. So we have to make this kind of case 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7th is already there. So we'll change this from mon, it will be q to ved 2, 2, 5, fetch, sun. And this is Sunday, this is Saturday, this is Friday, this is Thursday, this is Wednesday, this is Tuesday, and that's it. See? And there is no breaks, there is no default statement, not needed at all. Okay. So now let's run this. If we run this, it will print all the days values. See, all the days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Right? And suppose if we remove any one out of this, we don't have any one out of this, right? Then it will do what? Then it will show that much values only. Okay. So see this. What happens is this day dot values gives this particular array to this day now. So now this day now is pointing to this kind of array. And when you say for each day in this day now, okay, so with each iteration, one value will be assigned to this day variable of this for loop. Okay, so it is read as this: for each day inside this day now array, you do what? You do this switch case. Okay, understand? Any doubt in this? Please do let me know. Yes? Any doubt in this? Okay, you want me to repeat? Okay. So see, here basically we have created a data type called day, which is of type enum. Enum means nothing but constant. Okay, we just make some constants. So enum data type is day. The way you define class data type, here I am defining enum data type, that is day. Inside that I have a list of constants that can be assigned to some variable, and that variable should be of type day only. But understand, we can even make something like this. You can say enum colors, simply color, and inside this color you can define various colors like red, green, blue, orange, black, and white. So it means now you have defined a data type called color, which can accept these values only, no other value outside this. Okay. For example, when I say that I have got a number, an integer data type I, then this integer I has got some range, right? This I can accept from that negative range to positive range only. Up to that range only, this value I can store, right? Similarly, when you say color, enum color, this color becomes a data type. The way int is there, this color becomes a data type, and any variable of that data type can have only these values, no other values outside this. Okay, and these values become what? These values represent simply the constants, okay, of this color. So you can define now the variable like this. When you say color C1, you can give it any value, like let's say red. That's a valid thing. But since this okay, it's not able to understand red, how will we give this? We say color dot red. We say color dot red. You see, this is how we give this value. Why did we not use it over here? Because we will use it inside this particular for loop. We were able to easily make it understand. Okay, so that is a simple simple enum data type. We can also make this also public. Okay, and that's it. So that is enum data type and also for loop. For loop is how? For loop is basically this is for each loop. For each loop can work on variables, can work on array of objects. This for each loop can work on array of objects. So for example, let's say you have an array of let me show you. You have suppose an array of uh, strings. So if I say for let me think of a good example of for each. So for each, what we will do is basically let's say for string, okay, or string s in. We now here we need s colon, and here we need a string array. Okay, here we need a string array. So how will we access string array? Okay, see this it can work on integers also. Now let's do one thing. Let's make an integer array. Okay, so here I say for, let me declare an integer array by saying int arr is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, and then here we can say for each integer I colon arr. So for each integer I in this array, you do what? You can access that I. So this is equivalent to saying okay. So this is equivalent to saying that when you say specifically for int I equal to 0, I less than ARR's length, which is what is the length? 4 over here, and I plus plus. Right? This is equivalent. No, we don't need to write all these things. Why you need to write all these things? Because we are using indexed arrays, right? That's why. But you can, when you say directly like this, for each integer I in this array, right? We know that this is an array of integers. So what will happen is with each iteration of for loop, uh, during each iteration, this I will get a new value every time. Okay, so in the first iteration I will be 10, second iteration 20, third iteration 30, fourth iteration 40. So check this out. Inside this for loop, what I'll do here, I'll check if I is greater than 20 or let's say 30. Okay, then you say system.out.println you passed. You are pass. Okay. So else here we say marks greater than 30, then you are pass. If marks are greater than 30, then you are pass. Otherwise, what do we say? Else we say, else if marks less than 30, then you are fail. Okay, and we can even give the mark value over here. So marks kya hai? What are the marks over here? We attach value I. Okay, and here also we can attach value I. Here we just simply have to say marks less than 30. If marks less than 30, then we simply say that you are fail. And here we say you are pass. Okay. So check this out. Let me just comment this part. Okay. You just will see the output of this much. Okay. So let me run this. Check this out. What does it say? It says that if marks is less than 30, then you are fail. So you can see marks are 10, 20, 30, right? 30 is itself not less than 30. So still you are fail. If marks are greater than 30, then you pass. Marks were 40, so you passed. You see that? So this is a simple what? This is a simple for each example. Let me do one thing. Let me take this example into a separate program of for each. We take it into a separate program of for each. Okay. Okay. So this is a separate program that will simply show this output. That's it. Okay, so I think is that are the doubts clear? Yes. Uh, that is just for the declaration purpose, Arshit. Don't worry. We can you declare it inside the main also. We can declare this enum inside the main also. There is no worry inside. By declaring inside, there is no tension about it. You can easily use that. You see, there is no much change inside it. Okay, so here now it says you need to create a day class, right? So we simply say enum day, and then it won't work. If we had written it outside, then directly saying it day would have worked. But now we will have to say enum day. Okay. Okay. So I think there is some issue with this. Okay, that enum will not work in this. Okay. Ah, here you cannot do it like this because uh, this day is not recognized to it. So that's why let me just keep it outside. Okay. But in the next session, we'll also go much deeper into this enum, why it is behaving like this and why it is not, now why only it goes over here, then only it is able to recognize it. That will see we'll go much deeper into this. Okay, I'll show you there's some more examples of using enum. Okay, although that's not in our syllabus, but we'll surely go to see that. Okay, fine. Right now this color red is also not working, so let me just remove that part. So see, enums basically are, it's good to declare outside the class only. Okay. Why? That we'll see that we'll explore that part in the next session. Okay. Any other doubts? Please let me know. If I want to do I dash dash, then how I will write in for each. Okay, minus minus, that won't be easy. For each, it only goes for, it works with objects only, not even simple incremental statements. Okay, so if you want to simply print a value of I from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1, for each is not a good enough. For each is always good for working with objects, and that too array of objects. Okay, for each always works on array of objects. Remember this thing, or arrays. Simply for each works with arrays. That's it. So if you are working with numbers inside the array, then that numbers, that array might be sorted, in that array may be sorted in incremental order or decremental order. That depends on the values. So you just have to surf through arrays, then you can use for each. For simple printing like this, printing reverse values or printing in forward manner, for each is not good. Okay, Harshad, is it out clear? Okay, that's good. Fine. So let's stop the session over right now over here. Any other doubts, you people can ask me. Otherwise, we can have the interaction. And if you have no doubts, then we can end the session over here.